In this video, I want to discuss very quickly the cost of obesity. I will just quickly go through a few of them and then I would maybe elaborate more in a longer video if it's something people are interested in. So, the first cost of obesity is your happiness. There are happy people who are obese, thousands, if not millions of them, but I'm not one of them. So I'm gonna only speak from my perspective as a almost 350-pound obese woman and what my reality is in this world. I cannot speak for all obese people, so I would only speak through the lens of my own experiences. Obesity has cost me my happiness in a very large way, which is ironic because I think that one of the reasons I'm obese is because I was unhappy and I dealt with depression for over 2 decades of my life. And while dealing with depression, I did not care for myself, and the weight just kept piling on and piling on and piling on. And even now that I have, to a large extent, overcome depression, not totally, not even close, but just to an extent overcome depression, my weight has taken my happiness. A lot of days in my life, I just think, why can't I get out? I think, how can I get out? Because I feel like I'm in a prison. I feel that my body is a prison and I want to come out of this prison. I want to be free from my body. My body feels like a cage. Why would I say that? Just existing is painful. I feel pain a lot of days, if not every day. My back hurts, standing hurts, my knee hurts, this hurts, that hurts, a lot of things hurt. I'm in pain. Just existing. If I want to make breakfast or lunch or dinner and I'm like cutting up vegetables and doing all the things I'm trying to do to be healthy, it takes a lot from me. I'm in pain after all of that. If I go for a walk, I'm in pain when I come back. If I stand for a long period of time, I'm in pain. Just existing as a human being, lying in bed is painful. Just existing as a human being is painful. That is what obesity has cost me. Another cost of obesity, apart from the unhappiness, is loneliness. For most of my life, I was lonely, if not all of my life, but that's a long story for another video. I've been lonely for almost all of my life, and the loneliness eats away at your soul. And even when I try to connect with people or to make friends or to create or embark on romantic relationships, I always seem to fail or not be able to get there. And I remember when I was in college, and I don't think I was even half my size then. And then the weight was just coming on, and I would ask my friends and their boyfriends, I'll be like, why does no one like me? Or why is no one attracted to me? Or why is it even when they're attracted to me, most times it's just for physicality and just never for who I am or wanting me to be their girlfriend? Why am I not the one? And no one ever told me. So then I never really understood that even though I had a pretty face for my weight, a lot of people would not want to have a fat girlfriend back where I was from. And almost everyone was skinny. So if you were fat, everyone would notice that you were fat. And no one wanted to be seen in public with a fat girlfriend. And only one of my friend's boyfriends told me that that was the reason. So, because I never knew, I just thought there was something wrong with me. Why did no one want to be, you know, my friend? And even this person that I'm saying my friend, I meant my classmate actually. But why did no one want to be in a relationship with me? Why did no one? And it's very possible I had issues, so it's very possible it was me or other things. But I just wanted to know, like, from a guy's perspective, and it was like, it's your weight. It's your weight. You're very beautiful. You're smart, intelligent. You're this, you're that. It's your weight, and he would just give it to me straight. And I was like, okay, I get it. I felt happy to have gotten it and just to have understood that. And I'm sure it's more complex than that, but my weight kept me from having the life I wanted. And the bigger I got, the more I ate myself, the more I did not go out. So it was also on me. It made me hide myself. It made me not want to show myself. It made me ashamed. It made me have this fear of being mocked, because where I was from, you would be mocked to your face and told you're fat and insulted for being, and you'd be insulted for being fat. People gave it to you like straight, and it killed my spirit every time someone did that, because I'd always been someone who words got to, and people are not kind with their words. And of course not everyone, but most people where I'm from are not kind with their words, and they will just give it to you straight, which is maybe good than to think it and not say it. I don't know if that's good, but for me, it killed me each time. And that's one of the second cost of obesity. Loneliness. Another cost of obesity is diseases, your health. Obesity has stolen my health from me. Like, if you watched my first video, my last video, my first and my last video, um, I have been diagnosed with breast cancer, and I've been going through the treatment, and there's so much I've been battling with my health when it comes to obesity. And when I was younger, my dad would warn me. He would be like, "Oh, yeah, you're young now and you're eating as much as you like and drinking, soda pop, whatever. You're just eating carelessly. But when you grow older, your body might fail you because you did not take care of it when you were younger." And even today, you get to see a lot of people saying, "Yes, I am obese, but I am healthy. I don't have any disease," and all of that. That was once me. But now I'm older, and the diseases seem to be coming for me. And probably, I would say, maybe I created the environment for this disease. So I feel a lot of guilt. I've cried a lot of times at the doctor's office, just because, even though I know there are skinny people who have cancer, there are young people who have cancer, it's not just because I'm obese that I had cancer. I just know that obesity is a comorbidity for several, if not thousands, of these diseases, and breast cancer is one of them. And I blamed myself for not being able to save myself in time, because I've been on a weight loss journey, which I will talk about more on another video if it's something people care about. But I I felt like I failed myself and I couldn't save myself in time. And I'm battling different kinds of health issues, and I feel terrible that I did not listen to my dad in time. And he was telling me from a point where he was older, and at the had diseases he was battling with, and he died at the age of 60 from heart disease. And my grandmother died at the age of 50 from diabetes, type 2 diabetes. And it just, when it comes and it takes your life before you're done. And I don't want that to be my story. And that's why I'm sharing this video and talking about these things. And if today you're obese and you have perfect health, this is the perfect time to rewind and start taking care of yourself going forward. Because if you're obese and healthy, if you're obese and don't have any diseases, it is yet it is yet. Because if you keep going on the road of packing on the pounds through the years, at some point, you might have to pay for it. And I'm paying for it now. And you might have to pay for it. And it's sad when you get there and you realize that you could have saved yourself by making a few changes to your lifestyle. And another cost of obesity is a sense of loss. You feel like there's so much you could have done with your life. There's so many places you could have gone. There's so many things you could have enjoyed and just experienced, and the adventures that other people get to have, but you can't have just because of the limitations of your body. I went to an amusement park and I did not fit into the roller coaster, and it was something I'd always wanted to do. And by then, I was even at my lowest recorded weight of 248. I had lost over 120 pounds at that point, and still, I couldn't fit. I think I was still maybe 260. I hadn't gotten to my lowest weight. I was around 260 and I couldn't fit in the roller coaster. And I felt so ashamed. And I would go to, there's a place, a science museum, and to go into like a submarine or something, you had to be a specific weight. And I did not fit. They would measure people before they could go in, and I did not fit, so I couldn't go in there. Airplanes, I feel so ashamed, asking for an extra seat belt. And it makes me not want to travel. I'm like, I would rather not travel than have to ask for that seat belt a lot of times. And you feel shame and guilt and invisibility at the same time, visibility. People see your fatness, but they never see you. And you go through the world and it's not the same as it would have been if you weren't obese, as sad as that is. And I think I mentioned in my last video that it almost seems like obesity is a crime in today's society. And I think probably it's always been a social crime that leads to alienation of the obese person. And there are a lot of obese people with beautiful families, beautiful friends, and loved ones, and they live beautiful lives and get to do everything that I said that I don't do. It doesn't limit them. But like I said, I'm speaking only from the lens of my own experience and my reality. And it's not been great. And I almost wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. And the battle to lose the weight. The weight, the obesity leads to insulin resistance. And insulin resistance fights you from losing the weight and keeps you from losing the weight. So I lost 100 pounds, I gained 70. And it's such a mind, you know what, and you're like giving it your all and you achieve your goal, or you're still on your way, to achieving your goal, but you've like made strides and you've made such great progress, and then to go all the way back because of incurable hunger, ravenous hunger that comes when you've lost all that weight, that forces you to gain it back due to the insulin resistance and PCOS. And it's interesting because if you lost the weight, all the weight that you had to lose, those diseases would, if not disappear, they would minimize. The sleep apnea, the joint pain, the back pain, the this, the that. There's so much of it. A lot of them would minimize at the very least. But those same things are what's fighting you and keeping you from losing the weight. And another cost of obesity is sleeplessness or sleep apnea, which I have. I've had it for decades. I did not know. I just thought I snored when I slept. But I've had it for decades, but was officially diagnosed last year. And I was put on a CPAP machine. But even before then, the doctor said, you have not had a good night's sleep for decades. And because each time your heart, they're like your heart stops about 26 times each night while you're sleeping, and each time your heart stops and there's oxygen deprivation from the brain, you wake up multiple times at night. And I suffered so much from nightmares and night terrors, and I couldn't figure out why. Terrible nightmares. I couldn't figure out why. And I still don't know till this day, but it has drastically stopped since I got on the CPAP machine because there's no more cutting of oxygen to my brain. And because that's not happening, I believe that's why the nightmares are stopped. And it seems like my brain was attacking me for all these decades. Like it was torture, all the nightmares and night terrors I was having. And always tired since I was like 16 or 17 years old. I used to always search, why am I always tired? What is fatigue? Why do I feel this way? Because I never felt right in my body. And I never could sleep properly, and I would have insomnia. And when I did sleep, I would have nightmares. So it was kind of like an horror of a life that I've been living. And I know it's not all caused by my weight, but at least 70% of the pain of my life has been caused by my weight. And this is the true cost of obesity. I would never be one to celebrate obesity, but I believe at the same time that obese people should be allowed to live in society and to exist without being shamed or mocked or laughed at or exiled or ridiculed or looked down on. But at the same time, I would never celebrate obesity. It has cost me too much, and it has cost a lot of people their lives.